Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. As promised, here is the next video. That's two in a day, and that rarely happens for me. You're probably wondering about my board because it looks like all kinds of stuff going on, but we have all kinds of stuff to talk about. We had a winner for our giveaway, so the Kershaw is no longer on the board, uh, and we'll see how that goes if I don't get contacted, but I'm pretty sure I will. If I don't get contacted, I'll let you guys all know and we'll have a second drawing, but I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll give our winner some time to contact us. Anyways, what I do have is the mystery is solved for our old timer, for our TL29 that has the hawk blade and then this special stubby blade. And the answers to this are provided by none other than my favorite historian lately, which is Stuart Harvey, and my son-in-law Jacob. They both provided the stuff for this. What Stuart found was that actually this blade was on a Klein knife that they no longer sell. And according to Klein, they made the blade for multiple applications. And in their literature, they say that this inside curve of the knife helps to skin away insulation. And it was also marketed as being used for multiple applications. And Schrade marketed it as being a utility knife. So that would be right in line with this. When I talked to my son-in-law, Jacob, he's actually an electrician by trade. And he doesn't do like residential electrical. He works at transmission substations and different power stations and stuff like that. And he said that he had seen blades like this that they use for stripping feeder wires, which is bigger than Romex. And he said that he has it on fixed blade tools, but he hadn't seen it in a folding tool, which is true because I don't think anybody markets this blade anymore, or at least I haven't seen any new versions of it. Anyways, he had some Romex on hand. I know I said I was going to get some Romex and try to strip it on camera. And actually, believe it or not, Romex, this little stub will not fit in there. So like if you were going to strip it that way, you can't fit it in there. And if you were to bear down on it and go at it at an angle, it just peels it away just a little bit at a time. And he said that, you know, if he was actually on a job, he wouldn't strip a wire that way because he'd be concerned he's going to damage the wires inside of the jacket, which kind of made sense to me too. But he said with the feeder wire, it's so big that this goes right inside and just, you know, they can just slice it right open. So I'm thinking that this was maybe an electrician's knife, but marketed to that set of electricians that actually work on different stuff other than residential type electrical. But since it's a utility knife, you can use it for whatever your mind can come up with. And I've used it for all kinds of stuff. And that kind of brings us to sidebar. I picked up a project knife, which is this old timer. It's a 34 OT Stockman, and I'm going to try to rehab this guy. But when I was cleaning out the channel, I found that putting a patch on that, this gets right down into that channel and does clean up your springs and stuff. So this guy will be featured in another video with some other stockmen, and we're going to see if we can clean this guy up and get him back to super presentable shape as a decent user. And we'll talk all about those stockmans on a different video. But back to this one. So like I said, the mystery is solved for this. I'm satisfied with it. If anybody has anything else they want to talk about with it, we can certainly discuss in the comments section. So all the guys that said it was a grafting knife and that it was some other stuff, you know, that may very well be the use for it. So like I said, it's your imagination is basically the limit there. And we had this other old timer that was on the other video with the hawk bill, and the screwdriver blade. And I wanted to talk about these screwdriver blades. This is the Exolite, the Camillus one, and this is just, he's part of the work knife crew. I don't know if you guys remember seeing this one, but in case you hadn't, this is a Klein, I guess it would be a coping or a cutting knife. For that, it's kind of different because it has edge on the one side, and then on this side not. So it's more like a chisel. So it is for, you know, more scraping tasks rather than true cutting tasks. But it's still a kind of a cool little knife. And that brings me to this one that we haven't talked about. A viewer told me about this knife, and this is really a cool little dude. This is a Marbles MR282, and it has like this really pretty desert ironwood type wood, and I mean, just look how gorgeous that is. Just beautiful. I think, oh, it's burl wood. I'm sorry, it's a burl wood that it was made out of. Just absolutely gorgeous. And it's a lockback, but this one only has a single blade. It just has the screwdriver blade. And this kind of brought me to my little bit of a rant here, because if you look at the tip of it, I don't know if you can see it, it's super, super thin. Like not even close to, you know, being a good screwdriver blade. And this one is too. Just, you know, these things are like knife edge. The Camillus is more correct. As you see, there's some meat there. And I'm going to tell you guys, I work on machines all day long. And one of my pet peeves after doing this for, you know, 30 some odd years is I hate buggered up screw heads. I hate it. It's one of the things that I really don't like at all. And you can see with something like this, you just, you know, there's no way that you're going to run into a little thin, you know, flathead screw like that. Maybe they intend it to be more of a scraper or something, or a pry bar, but even that, all you're going to end up doing is probably bending this blade. And it just kind of bugged me because, you know, I started looking at other bits. And so like here is on a Leatherman Skeletool. It's kind of thin, but it's not that bad. But then I started looking at some other screwdrivers I had, and these are some cheap screwdrivers too. I'm not talking about high-end stuff, you know, but it's got, you know, basically you can see that there's meat in there. Here's a Craftsman, and it's definitely got some meat in there to be at the end, and even a bit that I found, a little two-ended bit, and it's really good, you know, as far as having, you know, something that's going to get in the bottom and, you know, fit both walls of that type of a thing. It wasn't until I got to this little itty bitty Craftsman for a #1, and even it's not that bad off. But that's just a pet peeve I have with these kind of tools. You know, Camillus got it right on this one. I mean, it's kind of thin, but not bad. And it's funny, or I'm sorry, this is the Schrade. Camillus is this one. They got it right. Look at that. Plenty of meat in there to hit the bottom of that slot on a flathead screw. So I'm sorry that I don't mean to be persnickety, but it's stuff like that that makes me not want to take the old timers to work, or this Marbles. Now I have taken the Camillus to work because there's one piece of machinery that I work on, and it is one of those things that the manufacturer wants us to use every kind of tool we own on it. It has flatheads, it has posi drive screws, it has Torx screws, and I'm probably forgetting a couple, but it's one of those ones that you need a screwdriver with multiple bits or the ability to take bits to be able to work on it properly. But that's you know, one of the challenges of my job, and not maybe yours, but still I'm thinking, man, these you know, screws, I keep picking up the Camillus, and I mean to pick up the the old timer, but you know, these little knife blade type screwdrivers, it's just like, how in the world are you supposed to do this and not screw up what you're working on? It just is kind of beyond me, but it makes it to where I can see, you know, if all the manufacturers are doing this, that it's going to end up, you know, definitely not letting the TL29 make any kind of a comeback. But then again, I don't know if it ever would. I think the world kind of belongs to the Leathermans and the Gerbers, which, you know, is okay, but I really do kind of wish we could go back to the TL29s just because it's fun. And I carry one sometimes just to be an anachronism because, you know, hey, why not? You know, somebody's got to be old school, right? But yeah, this Marbles is really cool with the Be Prepared shield. I like it. The burl wood, absolutely gorgeous. Love it. On the blade, it does have the Marbles name on it. Let me see if I can get this to focus. There we go. Yeah, it's got the Marbles name on it and stuff, which is really nice. And these are still useful tools. It's just, you know, my own personal preferences when we start talking about how our screws live at the end of our work day or whatever. But, you know, that's pretty much it for my rant mode off. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know sometimes I get a little silly about these things. But anyways, we'll let that one go. And let me know what you guys think in the comments, because I am always interested in discussing stuff with you, especially you fellow tradesmen out there. If you have any experience with these different screwdrivers and stuff, and tell me how you feel about stripped out screws and all that other kind of stuff, because, you know, like I said, it's one of my pet peeves. Anyways, I will let you guys go, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.